What's up, everybody, and welcome to another jam-packed, exciting episode of Beef Sticks Podcast.
Hello.
The only show you know that blows your load and holds the chode.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Sometimes you want them to hold the chode in. You can't just enjoy it, savor it for a moment. Let it swish in there and mix with the saliva. You know, if you got two broads there, they can snowball it, spit it back and forth to each other until it grows into a giant wad of saliva and semen that I like to call Sleeman.
Sleeman.
Which, by the way, is also the name of my lawyer.
There you go. Is he going to make an appearance on your Smee and Smeagol Mysteries?
You seen that?
Yes, I did. And then I said the Smith's Adventures of Smeagol and Smee.
That's right, you did. That's funny because I was just random. I don't even know how it came in my head. I was sitting here. Part of me wants to think I was watching SmackDown at the time. And something inside of me just came up with Shmee and Schmeagol. And I was like, oh yeah, man. Shmee and Schmeagol Schmysteries. That sounds fun. Somebody needs to make it happen.
I could see it on Disney Junior in a heartbeat.
Right? The Shmee and Schmeagol Schmysteries. You could have like a guest appearance, you know, at the end of season 1 with like where like Frodo has to defeat Captain Hook and Schmeagol are caught in the middle.
There you go. Could be good.
Frodo and Schmeagol are the only two people I know from Lord of the Rings. Oh no, Bilbo, right? Bilbo?
Well, Bilbo is
Bilbo?
He's in it. Bilbo is Frodo's uncle, and he was the Hobbit in the Hobbit.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes.
Bilbo, Frodo, and then I know that Patrick
Legolas.
Stewart's in there, but is he Ganondorf or is that the fucking Harry Potter?
Ganondorf is the Zelda enemy. Gandalf is the Grey Wizard.
I mixed
Ganondorf. Ganondorf Ziggler.
Ganondorf Ziggler. Hey, he's looking for a new gimmick. Come out as fucking Link's arch nemesis.
In a white robe and a long beard as well.
This would be the time to do it. You send out skeletons and bats. I mean, those are two of the main those are the Goombas and Koopa Troopas of Adventures of Zelda. This is the season for skeletons and bats.
'Tis the season for seasoning.
Oh, by the way, I was corrected by I think it was by my son or my niece corrected me last week. I was trying to figure out what Dolph Ziggler's theme song was, and I thought it was "I Give It to the World, I Give It to the World." But apparently, I'm here to show the world. I'm here to show the world. So they got me on that one. Let's hurry up and get things going. I think we have a long show. I'm gonna laugh when we end and there's like 20 minutes left, but It looks like we have a long show. So let's get right into what we the skills that pays the bills.
The skills that pays the bills and the sponsors that bring you our content. Sort of.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you need high quality, locally sourced vinyl decals fit to your custom specifications? Do you not have a lot of time to wait for turnaround? Do you not want to pay a fortune for shipping and handling? Then you need to hit up Monster Wear Clothing. Also specializing in custom t-shirts and custom painted hockey masks, as well as many, many other sources that you can only find about if you check out Monster Wear Clothing on Facebook or hit up my homie Corey Matthews. Let him know Pasty White sent you. He'll hook you up real good. Yeah.
Yes. We also had a contributor to the Beef Sticks podcast this week. It's somebody who's been on Beef Sticks and has been on Fantastic Fables, and she wanted to sponsor a little bit and get a shout out, and that is B, my sister B. Shout out to B. She purchased the beer that I shall be ingesting during this show.
Well,
so
fancy?
She picked it out. She bought it. She's contributing to the show, which is more than some of y'all are doing. So give it up. Big shout out to B.
B.
You know what they say? Mess with the B and die like the rest.
That's exactly what they say.
That is what they say. Don't forget, we got Patreon. You can get exclusive contact, fun little stuff, be a part of the Cloud Style family. It is patreon.com/CloudStyle. You can donate anywhere from $1 to $5. If you want to do more, go ahead and do more. We add little stuff here and there on there. Make sure to check that out. We appreciate every little bit that's donated to it. And there's also a GFM, a GoFundMe page, so that you can invest in Cloud Style Broadcasting. Go to GoFundMe.com and search for Cloud Style Broadcasting. You can donate as little or as much as you want there. We can give you shout outs. We can get you merchandise. All of this is going 100% completely back into Cloud Style Broadcasting. None of that goes into our pockets. None of that goes anywhere else. It's an investment in your show. It's you investing in your show is what it is. So feel free to do that. Otherwise, just show your support by watching, by listening,
by liking us on Facebook at Beef Sticks Podcast.
Like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. And make sure to click the little bell so you can get notifications. Make sure to like and comment on download, on Spreaker, on iTunes, on Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio. Every extra comment you leave there, every time that you download, all of that makes a difference. All of that data gets put into algorithms.
It's letting us know that this is something you enjoy listening to. If you like listening to it and you don't say anything, how are we ever supposed to know? And that's where I sit with it.
We don't know. And there may be something that we can easily do to make this more palatable for you or more enjoyable for you, but we just don't even know about it. It's never even crossed our minds. Let us know. Is that everything else before we get into the brew skies?
The brew skies. I think it's time to take a trip
are upon us.
to the refrigerator.
Refrigerator,
why do I love you so?
My baby.
Because you hold my food and my beer, so you're my heart and soul.
I love to get inside of you.
Refrigerator.
You know, I don't have a great singing voice, but I just love that song.
Oh, yeah.
So where are you at on the drinking front?
I am still getting through my case of Coors, son.
Woo-hoo!
Week number 2 with that Mountain Fresh brew.
Cold Mount Spring.
That sounds delicious.
And it is. This is another one from a brewing company you and I love. It's Insight Brewery.
Yes.
And this one is a new one I've never seen before. Let me pull up my camera to see if I can let you see it, maybe or maybe not. The light sometimes gets in the way. You can't really read it, but it's Dank right there. Dank Bot.
Nice.
Dank Bot. And one thing I love about Insight Brewery is these sons of bitches give you a story with it, so I don't got to make up my own. Although I love making up my own.
They have to make the cans so big so they can fit the story on it.
That's the only reason they're like this. Now I got to get my bifocals out, so that's how I do things. And here it is. The autonomous nature of Dankbot. You have to understand The stereotypical portrayal of robots as cold, calculating, and intelligent is it is an entirely regressive media construct. Most of them are as dumb as the bolts that hold them together. Now I reflected on this as I watched my creation spin in circles, hurling heaps of hops into my beer, and the doppelring breedle of his idiotic whee filling the air. I thought to myself, I had created a moronic monster. But you know what? He was my moronic monster. For some reason, I don't even have this button on here. I should, because I have the audio. For some reason, that made me think of the butter robot from Rick and Morty.
Yes.
You know the butter robot.
Yes, indeed.
When I read this, I just pictured the butter robot just like spinning around and chucking butter into something, or I could see him being, repurposed to just chuck hops into a beer. Oh man, I know I had the butter robot on here, and I'm not gonna find it without looking all over. And I put random little audio things into random shows. So if I try to look back at what show it is, I mean, it could be anything. It could be anything. Who knows? So I lost the butter robot. Oh my God. I could have deleted it too. I tried to keep it clean because I got so much crap in here. I got two brothers. Two brothers.
We don't even need
Did you see the I know, right? Did you see the Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, two brothers, fake trailer? You know what I mean? If I could spit it out.
No, I didn't.
It's awesome.
I
think I shared it on Fantastic Fables. You'll have to try to find it because it's pretty easy to look for. Just look up Two Brothers trailer. I think it was like 3 years old, and I swore I hadn't seen it until I just seen it. So that really surprised me. I'm still looking for the damn butter robot, and we need to get moving along. Move along, Bubba. You're the one supposed to be keeping us. Come on, Fat Mac. You're supposed to keep us on track, and you're getting all buttered up.
Well, you got 2 minutes according to the lineup here.
Well, let's use those extra.
Tell me why all of a sudden I have the Up There song from South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut in my head. I need to watch that movie again soon now.
Oh, you know what? So we do got 1 minute. I just took a drink of this. I forgot to take a drink of it and tell you how it is. I just read the damn story. This is actually, it's called an extra dank India Pale Ale. Now, I thought dank was a bad thing, but B, who bought this, said that dank is actually now one of those things. Like when I was a kid, like ill, stupid, dope. Those were actually good things.
Yep.
But they sounded negative. Apparently, dank is now
that's good now.
One of those words.
It's because of weed.
Yeah. So I didn't know because I was like a dank India Pale Ale. That does not sound good. No, it is actually extremely hoppy, which gets me hard. I ain't even gonna lie. Hoppy beer gets me hard.
Oh yeah. Yeah, once I'm through this Coors, I'm going back to the IPAs.
It's crisp and it's very not filling. It's less filling it's less filling and tastes great. For some of you kids that grew up in the 90s, you'll catch that reference. I don't even know. Does Pasty catch that reference?
Oh yeah.
Less filling, tastes great.
Mm-hmm.
It was Miller Lite. That used to be. They had a whole bunch of ads on TV of girls in bikinis just arguing over why Miller Lite is better, because it's less filling or because it tastes great. It's both. Well, so is this fucking dank ass bot, baby. Dank bot. I love dank bot. I love him. I love him so. 8:15. We're on news, notes, and rumors. And holy shit, unless we read through this really quickly and we don't even talk about it other than just reading what we got here, which we never do, this might take up over half the episode.
This could be the whole show.
Bear with us.
Seriously.
Bear with us. It could be.
My
it could be.
Technical arts of dragging off track. This could be 3 shows worth of material.
And what's horrible is I am going to bring up a rumor that we left off of last week's show. I was looking through what we talked about last week, and somehow I skipped over it. But I'm going to talk about it because there is somewhat of an update. Last week, we left off that there are rumors of Ricochet being WWE bound. If anybody doesn't know who Ricochet is, put him in your damn YouTube machine because his matches are holy shit quality. He's amazing as Prince Puma in Lucha Underground. Otherwise, Ricochet in New Japan or anywhere else you want to find him on any of the indies. He's been in Pro Wrestling Guerrillas Bola, the Battle of Los Angeles. He made news nationwide in New Japan's Best of the Super Juniors tournament between Will Ospreay. They put on what some said was a beautiful, amazing match, and others said was literally ballet in the wrestling ring. And I think they're both right. I loved it, and I thought it was super entertaining. It did come off as more of a dance, a very well choreographed display. But, you know, people go to martial arts shows to see those choreographed displays and not just to see somebody get fucking five-fingered death punched, right?
Right.
So why can't you go to a wrestling show to see that? So there are rumors that he could be coming to WWE. I wanted to talk about that last week because we were talking about Neville, and I thought, you know what, if there's anybody to replace Neville, this would be the guy. For the record, I like Pac better than Ricochet, Neville. So I don't want Ricochet to replace Neville. In the perfect world, they'd both be in there together, and they'd both be putting on amazing matches against each other and with each other. But now, following last night's Lucha Underground Ultima Lucha Tres finale, which very well actually could be the end of Lucha Underground. There are no reports and no even rumblings or snifflings or anything of Lucha Underground being renewed, which will make me super sad if that's true. But it's looking pretty grim for Lucha Underground. But as of last night's show, Ricochet is now 90 days away from being a complete free agent in wrestling. For anybody who didn't see last night's finale or haven't read up on it, Puma defeated Johnny Mundo, who you may know as John Morrison from the WWE, and now he's Johnny Impact in Impact Wrestling. Puma defeated him to win the Lucha Underground title in a career versus title match. But the night did not end there, however. Dario Cueto came out, one of those things, and said Puma would defend his title against Gift of God's champion, Dark Pentagon, who, by the way, is my favorite character in Lucha Underground. Find some fucking Pentagon Dark or Pentagon. You know, he's went through a few name changes due to copyright issues. But anyways, in Lucha Underground, they have a Gift of the Gods title. It is a title. You wear it, you defend it, but it's really similar to the Money in the Bank briefcase, where it guarantees you a title shot against the Lucha Underground heavyweight champion. The biggest difference is, and I love this, is you have to inform the owner, you have to inform the champion, you have to inform everybody at least 1 week in advance. So you can't just come in the middle of a match and take somebody out when they're at their weakest. You have to announce you're doing it. But it's a guaranteed title shot, similar to what the Intercontinental title used to be back in the day. So he had to defend it against Dark Pentagon, and it ended up being a career versus career match. And Vampiro ended up screwing Puma over and helping Pentagon. Puma left the temple, and he took off his Puma mask. He has been very vocal about not returning to Lucha Underground and leaving AAA. He has not been happy, even though he's been in the main event scene. But according to Ricochet, his Lucha Underground contract expired last June. And it's been reported that contract talents would have to wait 90 days after their final television appearance before they are able to be signed with WWE. That's something they did when Ring of Honor started suing them for trying to poach their guys. So now there's a 90-day clause. Now that the final show has aired, Ricochet would be free to appear on any other wrestling TV show as soon as January 16th, 2018. And yesterday on his official Twitter account, he posted "Clock starts now" with a winky emoji. It's been reported WWE is interested in him, especially with 205 Live now. I don't know how you couldn't be.
Yeah, but that's my problem.
Smart to pick him up.
I think he's too smart to say, yeah, I'll go to 205 Live.
You know what? I don't know how much pull any of these people have, any of these talents or anybody. I know some people have more than others, obviously, and they have clauses in their contract. You know what? Depending on how much WWE wants some of these guys, I mean, why couldn't they say I'll go to NXT or 205 Live as long as I'm called up in 365 days or earlier or something like that?
Yeah,
WWE,
but they're not
maybe
gonna.
some have.
If they were gonna
and
pull up
WWE
guys, they
doesn't
would have
allow
done it already with Neville.
Well, maybe yet Neville didn't have that in his
They would have
contract. I'm
did it
just
with
saying, why
Austin
not throw it out
Aries.
there? Why not throw it out there? Is all I'm saying. Why not throw it out there? But no, I don't know. He could go on 205 Live there. If WWE is serious about making 205 Live actually good and must watch, this is the guy they're after. He does have a great working relationship with New Japan, so he could easily go there. Ring of Honor would take him in a heartbeat. PWG would take him in a heart. Anybody. There's nobody who's saying no to Ricochet. Nobody. Not if they're smart.
Right. I feel like he's too smart, especially with Neville just taking off. I think he'd be an idiot to agree to go to 205 Live. And even if he didn't go to 205 Live, they'd probably say, okay, you got to start on NXT. And then when he was getting ready to be called up, he'd be called up to 205 Live. You know what I mean?
Probably.
Vince is going to put him there.
But just purely looking at it from either WWE's perspective or just from the fans, I would love to see him there, and I think he could do great things on 205. It'd be better if Neville is still there, which Neville isn't contractually gone, so it's possible.
Yeah.
He probably is smarter going to a New Japan or Ring of Honor, but we'll see. Sometimes money walks. And we'll get into that because sometimes money walks, and that walks people away from WWE. And I'm actually going to talk about that. We got a lot of notes about people leaving, getting let go, walking away, all of this stuff, unhappiness. We reported last week, or at least I'm pretty sure we got to this. Jimmy Jacobs got let go from WWE. Actually, I know we talked about this. Jimmy Jacobs was a writer for WWE for years. We talked about Chris Jericho says that he created the list of Jericho, amongst other things. He was on Live Audio Wrestling, and he opened up about his firing from WWE, stating, he said, "The Bullet Club was given to me as the reason I was fired. I've read a couple sites saying there were things leading up to it, or this was the straw that broke the camel's back. If it was, I'm not aware of any of that. It's certainly possible. Who knows?" So according to Jimmy Jacobs, the official reason he was fired was because of the crap surrounding the Bullet Club invasion.
Yeah. Well, it sounds about right. Why else would they fire him?
I still say that's really petty.
It is petty.
I still say that's really petty. Especially petty. As
it's
talented of a writer as he is.
By the way, Fat Mac, it's still too soon to be throwing that term around like that.
What's that?
Petty. Let the man be for a moment.
I see what you did there. Yes. Rest in peace.
Speaking of rest in peace, got to give a quick shout out to Trailer Park Boys' own Jim Leahy. I'm a terrible person because I don't remember his real name. So, but I do have fears now because I don't feel like Trailer Park Boys would or will ever be the same without him. He was a very pivotal point in every plot, in every episode. And
he's not the one that wore the glasses, was he? He's the only one I would recognize.
No, that's Bubbles. Jim Leahy is the trailer park supervisor. He's an ex-cop and he's an alcoholic. The greatest alcoholic that ever lived.
Oh, come on.
Seriously. Watch the show.
BoJack Horseman.
You don't even have to start at season 1. I would honestly start at like 6.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of great alcoholics. And then once you're into the show,
go back and watch the early ones.
That's a high bar to reach.
Yeah. No, wait till you see some Jim Leahy, man.
Did they still put out new episodes show, or did they just I know they traveled and did live shows.
They do the live shows. They do a lot of traveling. They have a podcast. They do annual like live show movies or whatever. They've been releasing. They got signed 3 years ago with Netflix to keep doing the show, and so there's 3 new seasons.
Where did the actual television series, did that debut on Netflix, or did that start like somewhere else and then Netflix picked it up?
Well, it was on Canada television, and then it made its way to IFC.
Cool. A lot of great stuff starts at IFC or stays on IFC. IFC is especially back in the day. Now with Netflix and Hulu, there's a little more open-mindedness. But back in the day, if you wanted to find an open-minded network to air something that maybe everybody wouldn't love but was still an amazing show, IFC was the place to go. Independent film channel.
Yes. Did you ever check out The Whitest Kids You Know? That was my favorite sketch comedy show for a long time.
Definitely.
So amazingly ridiculous.
Hilarious.
Hilarious.
Yeah, that's old school. That's early 2000s.
I'm gonna grape you in the mouth. It's a terrible mascot.
They were funny. Yeah, that was like early 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even late 90s. Maybe even.
Yep.
Maybe not.
I want to say, probably early 2000s. No later than 2006 for first season, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. May he lay he in peace.
Yes. See, I told you I'm going to be really good at dragging us off topic.
That's all right, because I'm going to throw us back in right now. We're still talking about folks unhappy and or missing and or gone.
To break the news. Funko Pop WWE Figures has just released a whole new lineup featuring Alexa Bliss, Braun Strowman, Shinsuke Nakamura, 2 different versions of The Rock, and 2 different versions of Razor Ramon. And I gotta
look up that Rock one, because I think that's just Rocky Maivia. I'm assuming that's Rocky Maivia.
I know that.
Because I don't know of any blue and orange The Rock. He came in his frilly poncho when he first came in.
Well, it's like one of those shitty 90s shirts, the button-up shirts with the print on it. And it's all silky or velvety.
I see the 2, the black and the red ones. I don't see a goofy one that you were talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The ones I see are his classic red and his classic black.
Okay. But I want that Braun Strowman one for sure. And I could probably take the Shinsuke one while I'm at it. But Braun Strowman as a Funko Pop, that's amazing to me.
I think the one you said is blue and orange is like red and black or red and purple. But that is the old school Rock. I see what you're saying. Or maybe it's looking different because I got my shades on. But yeah, that's old school Rock. I hear you. Looks better than the way you described it in my head.
Well, there you go.
Sorry. So we're moving on to folks that are not happy or missing from WWE. Now, according to Sports Illustrated's Justin Barrasso. Sports Illustrated has been dropping some wrestling news lately. Good for them. Nia Jax has requested a leave of absence. And her leave of absence, according to Sports Illustrated, or at least according to Justin Barrasso, is related to her being unhappy with the current creative direction and pay scale. I know one thing that I had heard mentioned that wasn't in this article was she was so upset. Actually, most of the women were so upset because the Fatal 5-Way that was on last week's Raw, not this current week's Raw, but last week's Raw, was being changed and muddled with up until like almost 15 minutes before they went out there.
Yeah, the announcers were even, I guess I didn't know this was an elimination match.
Exactly. That was made evidence by Michael Cole, who literally said this is a traditional Fatal 5-Way, first pinfall or elimination wins. And like 20 seconds later, Bayley got pinned. And he's like, and then he's like, she has been eliminated. And he's like, oh. So apparently that's really been bothering them. You and I have discussed how they've just dropped the ball on this women's revolution by far.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna talk about that up at the pay-per-view that we talk about. This I'm just gonna insert a little something here also when she talks about creative and pay scale. Is I know a lot of people have said, especially with the Neville thing and other Austin Aries, this was a big thing also. So Neville and Aries were left off WrestleMania's main show, and they were delegated to the pre-show. Paisley, you and I had a lengthy conversation about does it matter now with the network? It's all one show anyways. And we decided it did matter. And one of the things we discussed was they don't get royalties from WrestleMania. They're not on the DVDs. They don't get royalties. So any pay-per-view that they're on the pre-show of, they are not getting royalties when that is sold. They're not making any money off of it.
And if you want further evidence, I mean, take a look at the Miz match in the pre-show.
Oh, yeah.
And the lack of an audience to view the match. That is, right? I think to the wrestlers, by far worse. They probably don't give a shit about how many people are watching on TV. If there's nobody in the fucking arena to watch what they're doing, it's fucking dumb.
And then think about this. The people that really, really liked The Miz and liked everybody in that match.
Yeah, they were robbed when they went of that
back.
Moment.
Well, yes. But when they went back to rewatch that match, because they didn't get to see it live, the wrestlers didn't get paid any money for that, even though they were bringing those views in.
Right.
So you talk about that. And then one thing that really surprised me, which I've read in a lot of places, and I haven't seen 100% verified, but I've read it in enough places, and I have not seen it debunked from anybody. Apparently, all of the 205 Live and NXT wrestlers, all of them do not get any royalties from them being in the 2K games. So WWE 2K18, 2K17, every wrestler that appears in there who has their name in there, that isn't a downloaded, created character, they get a percentage of that. They get royalties from that. Apparently, 205 Live and NXT guys get no royalties from that, even though they're just as featured.
That's stupid.
That surprised the shit out of me. So, yeah, when they say main roster, they're using that word pretty fucking hard. There's a main roster, and then there's a you're our little bitches rosters.
Right.
And I hate to say that, but that's what it seems like. So I wanted to say that. So Nia Jax has been on a leave of absence. Everybody has noticed that. She hasn't been around. Alexa Bliss commented on Nia's situation in an interview with the New York Post, and she stated, "We have talked about it a lot. Whatever she is going through, I wouldn't necessarily call it a leave of absence. She's taking some time off because our schedule is very grueling. It's very, very demanding. There are times where you are run down and your body can't do it anymore, and you get sick or you get injured from it, and you get tired. So I feel like everybody needs to reset every once in a while." In
the
NXT,
I took from that statement so far is she gets sick and tired.
Yeah, that's kind of those are the two kind of key words.
That's
there,
her
right?
way of trying to sneak the truth into that.
She goes on to say, so I feel like everyone needs a reset every once in a while. In NXT, I took a few resets, and it was never like public knowledge, but we all need them. We all take them once in a while. I am happy when she comes back. I feel like everyone needs that refresher week or refresher moment. She also said that she has no doubt that Jax will be back with the company sooner than later. Yeah, I agree with you. The ambiguity of the way that's worded. She didn't say she was injured. She didn't say she had an illness. And she said I wouldn't call it a leave of absence.
Right.
So to me, it sounds like she's kind of just playing the corporate. She's saying the corporate answer.
Yeah.
You know? Which is smart for her in this position.
Yeah. But no, I understand Nia Jax's anger. They built her up to be a beast, and they never gave her a title.
And they haven't really done anything with her other than being Alexa's bodyguard, which is cool if they featured her more.
And I could see why a lot of women would be mad that Alexa Bliss comes in and gets the championship, because a lot of them have been working for it for a long time. But
you know, we had talked about it,
and then like how they had split them up, and then the very next week she's her bodyguard in her locker room. Like,
yeah, that's what I was just gonna bring up. You and I both discussed it the week that happened. And you would have to think Nia would be upset about that. She thought she was getting a singles push. She thought she was going to be feuding with Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Arguably one of the most over female athletes that they have. And then she got back to... Obviously, they don't know what they're doing. They're obviously just writing it fucking moment by moment. They have no long-term plans for any of them. Maybe Charlotte.
Aren't you excited for Asuka to show up? And they're gonna ruin her.
That's so. I am so worried for Asuka, who is just one of the most amazing talents in the world.
You know, I think that's why Triple H gave her the winning streak she has had. That way, when she comes up, he can be like, "Hey, look it, she hasn't lost a match yet." And maybe Vince won't fuck her up as bad, but he still will.
Yeah. Oh, he's and you know what? Right now, I can't think of a specific wrestler, but I know I've read articles where even he has said he's been disappointed with how they've handled his talent once they go up to the main roster. And I've read rumors and notes that he often tries to keep people in NXT when he knows that they're just going to get buried on the main roster.
Yeah.
But in the end, if Vince wants them, Vince gets them. You know what I mean?
See, the problem, I think, is they call way too many people up at one time. They don't need to. Call one person up every once in a while.
Well, you know, you look at Michael and Maria Kanellis, who came in. I think we talked about them last week, maybe. Yeah. They've done shit with either one of them.
Yeah.
And they brought them right up to the main roster.
Even the Women's Revolution, they never should have let them switch brands at the draft. Or whatever.
No, you have
switch people.
You have the cruiserweights.
They're building up this brand new women's division. If you want to give it longevity, you should have kept them where they were and allowed them to really carve out themselves in one place.
Don't bounce them back and forth.
But the women, I feel like out of anybody in the switch, got shafted out of it on both shows.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Vince has got a hard-on for Bliss, and that's why she has the championship.
And you can't blame him. I'm all with him there.
Championship. And then, you know, the next person to have it is going to be fucking Carmella.
Well, more than likely. The odds of both Money in the Bank.
On SmackDown. That's my bad.
Oh, yeah. She will be the next SmackDown one, though, because you know...
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to have both Money in the Bank winners lose their cash in. So, in a planned little tirade off of our path, with all this news coming out, I actually recently read an article on Forbes.com, and I'm not going to say all of it here because we're already going off subject a little bit, but this is very much on the subject. There was one part that stood out, though, that I want to touch on. It said, here's a look at some of the stars who recently bolted WWE, often in the primes of their career, and are now thriving in other companies or other ventures. Neville reportedly quit WWE last week, at least partly because he did not receive any royalties after being left off the WrestleMania 33 DVD, which I touched on earlier. Austin Aries was apparently thrilled when WWE came to terms on releasing him from his contract from this summer, because like Neville, he was upset about lack of royalties from his WWE or from his WrestleMania 33 match. I know he was one that talked big about the 2K game. Aries has since claimed that he makes more money in 6 weeks on the independent scene than he did during his last 4 months in WWE. So in a month and a half, he's making more money than in 4 months in WWE. Earlier this year, Jack Swagger requested and was granted his release. And he did so saying in an interview that it was a business decision. The Dudley Boys left WWE this after failing to agree to come to terms on a new contract. They'd made their way to the Indies before Bubba Ray or Bully Ray, whatever you want to call him, eventually found himself working in ROH in a high-profile spot. Alberto Del Rio, we all know, left WWE last year as well after reportedly being unhappy with his position in the company. That was after leaving and coming back before.
Right.
And he'd go on to ink a deal with Impact Wrestling, allowing him to, quote, live extremely comfortably. We all know about Cody Rhodes. He was released in May 2016, but is the current Ring of Honor World Champion. And he said earlier this year that he made more money on the Indies than he was making in WWE. And Ryback left WWE last year under controversial circumstances and is reportedly making as much as $5,000 per appearance on the independent scene. So the old, back during the Monday Night Wars, they always said it was good for business because if people weren't happy, they could just leave and go to WWE, they could go to WCW, they could go to ECW. Then that all kind of crumbled, and then it was like WWE is the only thing in town.
Yeah.
Man, the quote-unquote IWC has done something right, because apparently now independents are making their way back up to being a viable alternative. If you're not happy in WWE, you can leave to the independents and make the same or more or just slightly less money and be happy,
Right.
and not have as much wear and tear on your body.
And you'll be a far bigger star than the WWE would let you be.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody listening to this is going to say, like, oh, yeah, right, like Cena and Reigns would make the same amount of money. No. Cena, Reigns, Lesnar, Rollins, none of those guys
those
are
are
going to go to
guys.
the indies and make what
Right.
they make in WWE.
Right.
No. But the mid-card guys, and even the lower than mid-card guys, like what I would consider a Jack Swagger to be, yeah, they can eat. I think people overestimate how much these mid-card guys make.
I was so mad when they released Jack Swagger, because I had recently just started coming around to him. It was because of his performances in Royal Rumbles.
Right?
As long as he's not talking, I'm down with him.
Plus, when you think about this, most people don't realize WWE stars, NXT doesn't have to. I was really happy to hear this. But main roster stars have to pay for their own travel, their own food, and their own hotel rooms. So you have to add that. You have to subtract that to whatever you're making. And they only get a percentage of their merchandise sold. Whereas all of those men listed earlier who went to the independents, they get 100% of their merchandise. Now, yes, they are in charge of getting it there. They're in charge of setting it up and having people sell it. That's true. But they still get a higher percentage after all of that than they would in WWE. They don't get 50% of their merchandise in WWE. No way.
Mm-mm.
They get well over 50% of their merchandise on the independents. I mean, they get 100% of it, but yes, they have to pay people to help set things up. They have to pay to have stuff look nice. They have to pay to have somebody sell it. So there is those costs. There's always those invisible costs. So moving on to more people that are missing, unless you have anything more to touch on that, Pasty.
No, I think we did pretty all right.
So there's some more people that have been missing lately from TV. You may have noticed that Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas, and JoJo have all been off TV for a couple weeks now. Some people maybe didn't notice Bray Wyatt was gone because he's been in taped vignettes, but those are pre-taped. He has not been making the rounds. He has not been in house shows. He has not been at any of the Raws. Neither is Bo Dallas, neither is JoJo. Some of y'all might not know, but there is a connection between those three. Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas are in fact brothers. They are the sons of Mike Rotunda, who was IRS and wrestling for many years. AWA, NWA, WCW, WWE. He was everywhere. But I think most known to most common fans is IRS, part of Money Inc. with the $1 Million Man. All I can say is it was. It was reported through WrestleVote's Twitter account, which was the same account that reported Neville's walkout and Nia Jax's absence. So they've been pretty on the ball with some of these rumors about things being pretty true. They confirmed details posted by Justin LaBar, who I think we all know. He used to work for WrestleZone.com. Now he's doing his own thing, Trib Live. PWV wrote on the subject. No, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm missing something in my news. Anyways, what they had said is they came out and said that all three of them had viral meningitis. Meningitis can be a very serious deal. I believe meningitis was the reason Brock Lesnar had to quit UFC in his first run while he was champion. I might be making that up, but that clicks in my head. That's what almost killed the Beast, almost slayed the Beast. And let's be honest, Bo Dallas is no Brock Lesnar. Anyways, it was reported that those three had meningitis. Of course, I didn't say the connection JoJo has. Bray Wyatt and JoJo are dating. They broke up Bray and his wife's marriage because he was sleeping with her while he was married with his wife, and she found out. We reported it here on Beef Sticks quite a while ago. So anyways, right away, I just picture a big old threesome with JoJo and Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt dressed up as Sister Abigail. just
in a swamp somewhere.
That's what I picture. I picture the three of them going at it in a big old incestuous cross-dressing interracial three-way. That's a
Like some
fucking
Devil's
search for you to
Reject
put in
shit.
your porn fucking research engine. I'm gonna look that up after this show. You know what? I'll find a time for you to start talking for a while, and I'm gonna look that up. Incestuous cross-dressing interracial threesome. There's probably thousands of videos. Is the sad part.
Right. If you can think of it, it's been done. So is Bray Wyatt going to be clear to wrestle for TLC even?
Well, let me go on. So, Pro Wrestling Votes on their Twitter account responded to people asking, is there more infected? And they said, I apologize in advance to those looking for further info as to what illness, who the others are, but that's personal information. I won't go there. So JoJo's mother responded to the post, and she said, so the other names are personal info. However, you mentioned Bo, Bray, and JoJo. Are they not qualified for personal info? Which fucking makes a lot of sense. You name three people and then say, can't tell you anybody else. That's personal. Why the fuck would this be public?
Right.
But I think that's a way of them saying they don't know anybody else. They'll spill out their guts. They'll say anything. But her mother did say, FYI, JoJo is not ill. She didn't say anything else on the illness matter. She just said JoJo is not ill. In regards to JoJo and Bray Wyatt, PW Insider, which is also a very reputable source, is reporting that Bo Dallas is the one who is ill, but Bray and JoJo have been kept home as a precautionary measure due to their relationship with Bo. Wyatt is still scheduled to face Finn Balor at the WWE TLC pay-per-view this Sunday in Minneapolis. So that makes sense. Like I said, meningitis isn't anything to fucking sneeze at. It's a pretty bad disease. So I can understand them just kind of being like, you know what? We can tape Bray's stuff. Nobody's going to notice JoJo is missing. Because I didn't. I noticed I seen more of Renee Young. I did know. I was like, hey, I'm seeing a lot of Renee Young. But I really didn't notice JoJo was missing. Bo Dallas, I noticed was missing. A lot of people may not have. By the way, did you notice the huge Curtis Axel chant that was going on this last Monday?
Yep.
They were loving, and that was before anything about him was talked about. Like, that was just when he's sitting in the ring. And Miz was even like, yeah, take it. I agree. That was awesome. I hope the writers are listening to this stuff. I hope they're paying attention. Like, hey, like Stephanie McMahon said, we're always listening to the fan and changing things up to make them happy. I want to see Curtis Axel as IC champ.
There you go.
Just saying. So, there you go. Those three are out for personal reasons. That's what I got from that. You got anything more, Pasty?
No, because I never heard they were out with meningitis or any kind of illness. And I just figured Bray Wyatt was around because of the pre-tapes. And not really going to notice if JoJo's there or not, because there's two different shows and multiple ring announcers. And
I know, but notice? That ass. God, that ass.
Yeah, but they don't
I maybe don't notice when she's not there, but I notice when she is there. Let me just say that. By the way, talking on Sister Abigail, wasn't that a really shitty effect when they changed to a pumpkin Balor earlier?
I feel bad for the people that were actually there in attendance.
That's my first thought too, yeah. He's standing in the middle of the ring cutting a promo, and then they cut to obviously a pre-recorded close-up of his face.
That would have to be over Bray Wyatt's face.
It's like... Yeah, so I'm also wondering, like, I want to find video footage. You know, people had to have been recording on their phones. So did Finn just stand there until it was over? Did he run away quickly? Did he walk down the aisle, slowly as it was going on? Like, what did he do? That had to be awkward for him.
Right. Yeah, that was dumb. They just should have not did that at all.
They should have had him cut his promo and later on play that promo.
Right.
Where he was already doing a backstage, thing. I don't know. don't know. Moving on. Some sad news just for the way that they view the WWE title, and we keep talking about how they don't care about the WWE title. Jinder Mahal called out the Beast, Brock Lesnar, this past Tuesday, SmackDown Live, and he challenged him to a match, champion versus champion at Survivor Series. Lesnar is expected to respond to the modern-day Maharaja's challenge on Raw next week. And per a report from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE officials have discussed doing a champion versus champion match for some time. That would be WWE champion versus Universal champion. What gets to the sad part, it is not, however, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, to backstage officials, it is not, however, considered to be a major match. This will simply give Lesnar the opportunity to be on a major show and set something up bigger down the road. So this world champion, WWE champion versus Universal champion.
I want to see this match on the pre-show.
It's considered not a major match, and they're just doing it to set something up bigger for Brock. It shows you that even they think, either they think the belt is a joke, or they think Jinder's a joke, or both. And folks, don't forget, we have 2 days of taping in India to thank for this whole Jinder Mahal fucking run.
Mm-hmm.
2 days of taping in India is what this is all for. We'll get through it, folks. We've got through a lot worse. We'll get through this. Some positive news. WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels is going to serve as a special guest referee for an NXT Championship match during Survivor Series weekend.
Woohoo!
Drew McIntyre will defend his title against Adam Cole with HBK as the special referee. The bad news is it's on Friday night, November 17th. It is not going to be at the TakeOver, and it is not going to air on the network.
That's terrible.
So, unless you're going to be there, you don't get to see it.
Why would they do that?
It's a non-televised show. Takes place the night before NXT TakeOver War Games. Why would they do that, you say? Well, we say that WWE is, I don't want to use the P word because it's too soon. They're sad, small little people. Shallow. They're shallow.
There you go.
So why would they do this? Well, it's worth noting that Ring of Honor will be holding a show in San Antonio that night as well.
Of course.
It just seems, with the whole Starrcade going on during WrestleCade and them doing this, and they can say that they don't do things, that they don't go out of the way just to screw with other people. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. This can't all be fucking coincidence. It can't. It can't all be coincidence. It can't.
They try to distract you with the fact that Kane's back for a week and a half.
Right? Yeah, they do that. Hey, speaking of that, we saw Kane.
Makes me worry about his campaign. I'm worried he's not going to get elected because he's already back being Kane.
Well, as you said,
in a situation that didn't even really call for a Kane. You know what I mean?
As you said, this Monday on Raw, former WWE champion Kane made his return to TV, and he interfered in Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman's steel cage match main event. He assisted the Monster Among Men in picking up a victory. As a result, Kane is now going to join the team of Strowman, The Miz, and The Bar to take on the Shield at TLC. The belief on Kane's return is that it'll only be for a very short period. WWE was very careful about keeping his return secret Monday night, with many of the talents backstage not even knowing he was in the building. Glenn Jacobs, who is Kane, is currently still in the midst of a campaign for mayor of Knox County, Tennessee in 2018. So he has till November to win or lose it. So sounds like you and I discussed earlier, I think they painted themselves in a corner. I don't know if Dean Ambrose went off script when he said that. We'll take on 3, 4, 5, 6 of y'all. I don't care. Or if somebody wrote that and then Vince got a hard on for it. But I don't think they had plans for Braun Strowman or Kane to join the Bar and the Miz.
Right. It doesn't make sense. It's dumb.
Maybe the writers thought the Bar and the Bar and the Miz weren't big enough for the Shield, so they had to add to it. I don't know.
The Bar and the Miz would be a great matchup with the Shield.
They're 3 of the best wrestlers right now, best workers right now, putting on some of the best matches. Why not? Yeah.
And so why did they make Cesaro cut a promo with that fucking mouth guard in? Oh my God, that was the stupidest decision ever.
You know what the worst part is? A lot of people are going to hate me. The worst part is, for a second there, I thought we were listening to a Shinsuke Nakamura promo.
He uses a mouth guard too, folks.
Oops, I did the wrong one. I did the rim shot, but first I did the wrestling bell. Yeah. I know, people are going to hate me. I love Shinsuke Nakamura. Don't hate me, folks. I'm just joshing on the guy. I'm just joshing on him. I love Shinsuke Nakamura. Love him to death. I think he should take his mouthpiece out when he does his promo, because he's not the best at English. It's not a bad thing.
Right.
But he needs all the help he can get when it comes with his promos like that. I'm going to go off topic just a little bit here, even though we are running out of time. Does WWE seem to have a hard-on for steel cages right now? It has to be, because they're doing so shitty in the ratings. We had a Braun Strowman Big Show steel cage match last month.
Mm.
We had 2 Hell in a Cell matches just last week. We had a steel cage match this Monday, and we're going to get War Games here in 2 weeks. Like, that's a lot of steel cages all in a row.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're worried about them ratings, man. I think they're worried about them ratings.
I think it's just the time of the year, you know? It's October. People are settling down. You can get more views if you're putting out these extreme matches.
I think it's ratings. I think they're scared.
That could be the truth.
In what one could say a runner-up to Jerry of the Week. So you know the Jerry of the Week is a good one. Last week we couldn't find one. This week they're coming out of the fucking woodworks. Tuesday night, WWE costume seamstress Julie Youngberg had a heated Twitter exchange with Rebby Hardy after an odd comment that she had made on Twitter. Now, for those of y'all who follow Rebby Hardy or just know anything about it, she has some mad Twitter shit. Like, she loves to rant on Twitter. I restrained myself, and I did not put the giant... There's a big thing between Rebby and this gal, Julie Youngberg, and I did not transcribe all of that. But to tell you what happened, in response to a fan who wrote that they wanted to see Broken Matt join the main event of this weekend's Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view, which would see Broken Matt joining the Shield to take on the Bar, the Miz, Braun Strowman, and Kane, Youngbird wrote, she responded, "I would love if the 5th man was dead Matt." Oops, did I say that? Basically implying she wants to see one of the talents dead. One of the talents of a company she works for, she wants to see dead. A talent who has a wife and children, family and friends. She might say, why would she hate Matt Hardy so much? Well, she was previously married to Hardy friend Shannon Moore, who, as Pasty White pointed out, was the original, what was it, Hardy Boy?
The original MFer, Mattitude follower.
The original MFer. You may know him, he was in WCW. He was one of the standouts in their cruiserweight division. Went on to TNA, where he got to show off his real side, and he was tattooed and mohawked. He was part of Inc.
Yes.
Which was Inc, like INK as in getting tattooed, and then Inc as in incorporated, INC. And apparently she has vented about Matt and Rebby before. Back in 2015, she accused them of hacking her social media accounts, stalking, slander, and more. She called them psychopaths, sad excuses for human beings, and accused them of trying to break up her marriage. She also made, and we're not gonna talk about them here, folks, but she made some really nasty racial remarks about Matt and Rebby's eldest son, King Maxwell, being half black. So Julie Youngberg, from myself, Pasty White, everybody in the Beef Sticks family, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
I don't care if you like Matt Hardy or not. There's wrestlers I don't care for. I do not wish death on any of them.
No.
I don't even wish ill. I don't wish injuries. I don't wish illness on them. I might not want to see them on my TV, so maybe that takes a little away from their paycheck. But I don't wish any ill on them or their family. And they work for the same dang company. So I think that's sad.
Yeah, she should probably be released, eh?
Eh? She's just a fucking seamstress. Come on, it can't be that hard to find.
I mean, they're going to be losing a bunch of names now anyway. They might as well cut some more of the fat.
So, going from our runner-up for Jerry of the Week to the Jerry of the Week.
The Jerry of the Week, everybody's favorite treat.
Who's the Jerry of the Week, Pasty White?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have another two-time Jerry. Two-time Jerry. In Roman Reigns. That's right, he's keeping up with Baron Corbin. Corbin.
The Corbin's fisherman. No, that's Gordon, isn't it? Gordon. I want to see Baron Corbin and Roman taking over Gordon's fisherman's. Corbin! Roman Reigns, Baron Corbin, left a lucrative wrestling career to take over a failing fish stick franchise. This is the true tale of the Corbin fisherman.
Dun, dun.
I can just imagine a fucking documentary. I don't know. Sounds entertaining. I'd watch it. Immediately following Shmee and Schmiegel's Schmysteries Schmish Adventures. So, on a recent episode of the Inside Your Ropes podcast, which aired on YouTube or video show or audio show or whatever you want to call it. It isn't video, but it's on YouTube. They don't have the shit like we got. You get to see us. They're just like, we got pictures and audio, y'all. Anyways, last Thursday, Roman Reigns made some not so subtle digs at the Young Bucks and the Bullet Club. He said, and I quote, "That's what we need. Guys who, and no offense to any of these guys, we don't need guys running around doing too sweet. And we don't need guys acting like they're DX from 15 years ago. We need original characters, guys who are them. I need Seth Rollins to be Seth Rollins. I need Kevin Owens to be Kevin Owens. I need Bray Wyatt to be Bray Wyatt. FYI, he's not fucking being Bray Wyatt. He's being Sister Abigail. He didn't say that. I just put that in, folks. Now I'm going to get back to what he said. We need original superstars who have no clue what was done 15, 20 years ago, and no disrespect of our history and our path, but we're trying to create something new here." Okay.
Yeah.
So he's allowed his opinion.
That's a lot of foot
I will
and mouth
say
in
that.
one statement.
Yeah. And he's allowed his opinion. He is. I'll let you say your piece on this, and then I have some very well thought out. I sat and steamed on this. I was in my shower. I do a lot of thinking on my shower for my podcasts because there's not much else you can do there. You fondle your balls for only so long before the soap runs dry. So I was sitting there and I was steaming in the shower, literally because it's hot water, and then figuratively because I was upset. And I'm thinking of this shit in my head like, this isn't right, and this and this. So anyways, you go ahead, Pasty, say your piece on it before I go at him. Hold me back, dog. Hold me back.
My first thought is, okay, big boss man with your bulletproof vest. How about stealing the Undertaker's "It's My Yard" gimmick? Roman Reigns is far from original. They're trying to build him and push him like the Hitman.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I don't got a lot to say about this because it speaks for itself a lot. It speaks a lot of... And what about this? We need original superstars who have no clue what was done 15 to 20 years ago.
No.
The fuck are you thinking, man?
No, you have to learn from the history.
Right.
You have to take from what was done before.
How can you
don't have
know
to exactly
where to
copy
go
it,
next if you don't know where it's already been?
right?
That is the most naive and blind comment I think I've ever heard, and it pisses me off severely.
And okay, yeah, sorry, I'm stepping on your toes,
No,
buddy.
that's you go right ahead.
Okay, this wasn't even on my list. I just thought about this when you stated that, because what you said is entirely true. Everyone who came before, you have Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was using the Lou Thez press because he loved Lou Thez. You have a lot of different guys. You have Tyler Breeze. He modeled his style off of HBK, who was his trainer.
Right. Or Dolph Ziggler, for that matter.
Ric Flair. Dolph Ziggler also. Ric Flair, who some say is the most iconic wrestler in the world, maybe arguably Hulk Hogan and Cena or whatever. But anyways, you got Ric Flair, who everybody loves and everything. He admittedly says he stole his whole gimmick from Buddy Rogers. From Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. I mean, everybody. No, you have to respect your history, and there's nothing wrong with emulating your history, as long as you're not, fake Diesel, fake Razor. Yeah, that was stupid. That's not emulating. That's literally copying.
Right.
The Young Bucks aren't going out there and doing Razor's moves or doing Diesel's moves. Hell no, they're not. They're wrestling like nobody else out there today. They're 100% original. They're doing things unheard of. They got a fucking Meltzer driver. They got a wrestling move named after Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer. Who else has a wrestling move named after a fucking reporter for wrestling news?
It's the Sam Roberts drop.
Yeah, exactly. So that's stupid. That's my number 1 point. So now I'm going to change the rest. So my number 2 point, the Shield was just a copy of the original NWO.
Oh yeah.
You might want to argue me there, folks. But
maybe that's why Roman Reigns is so butthurt. Because
maybe they didn't get to use the NWO moves, and these guys are, huh?
Yeah.
So they were 3 outsiders invading from a different company, but in this case it was a different brand. But this was before NXT was as popular either. So they're basically coming up from NXT. They were attacking. They would come through the crowd, dressed in black, and run roughshod over the roster immediately. That is the exact original NWO. Hall, Nash, and Hogan. If you just read that without reading the Shield, you would think that I was talking about the NWO.
Right.
Third point, staying on the Shield, Roman, up until they got back together now, up until this reunion, I know the reunion changes this statement, but up until this reunion, there was years in between when the Shield broke up and the reunion, and Roman was the only former member of the Shield who was still wearing the vest, still used the same music. It was like a little remix of the Shield music, but it was the same Shield music, just changed a little.
I don't get where everybody says that either, because I heard that too when somebody was talking about making the Shield on WWE 2K18, and they didn't have the Shield music, but Roman Reigns' music was kind of like the Shield music, is what he said. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What's different?
Go back and listen to both of them on YouTube. It's pretty much the same.
It's got. I swear it's identical.
It's okay. From my understanding, it's a little different, but I haven't gone back and listened to them.
The only difference is that
I thought you were arguing
Shield at the beginning.
That might be the only difference. I thought you were arguing it wasn't similar to the old Shield music, and I'm like, no way. No,
it's the exact same thing.
Okay, so he
don't like the fact that anybody would say it's a different or even changed. Like I said,
you go. It's not changed enough. Yeah, not changed enough to even notice. So he's still wearing a vest, still using the same music. He still uses the same finishers from when he was there.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins used the curb stomp. Now he's using the pedigree. Or now he's actually using the King's Landing. King's Landing, yes. Ambrose, even though his move is still called Dirty Deeds, this is a different Dirty Deeds from the original that he had. I can't remember. Maybe Roman didn't do the drive-by in the Shield. That might be new, but that's definitely not a finishing move of his. Although I really like I think the drive-by is my favorite move of his. I will say that.
Yeah.
You get some points there, Roman. You get some points there. So that's number 3. So I've already got 3 reasons. Number 4, and I guess this kind of goes back to my original thing. Wrestling is full of repeated gimmicks and moves. Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was just a mix of the NWO guys and ECW's Sandman. So the most popular thing in WCW and one of the most popular acts in ECW. Now, he got it over better than Sandman ever did, but that's it. And John Cena only became the main event guy after he changed into, I am a real American. You know, his thugonomics wasn't getting him world title matches. It wasn't getting him WrestleMania main events. It was turning into Hulk Hogan. And don't even try to deny that hustle, loyalty, and respect is not a complete ripoff of train, say your prayers, take your vitamins.
Right.
The exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not shitting on Stone Cold for doing that. I'm not shitting on Cena for doing that. I'm not shitting on any of them. I'm not even shitting on Roman keeping the Shield gimmick. Only one person could do it. They all could have went different, but he kept it, and that's fine. But then don't go out there and say these other people who are being innovative, who are making moves, who are arguably making the best money on the independents and proving that people who aren't happy in WWE can leave WWE. Don't go shitting on them just because they're more over than you fucking are.
Right.
You fucking Jerry.
You fucking Jerry.
I was ready for this one. I was worked up for this one. I've been worked up for a while. I've been worked up for days on this one. I was practicing that in the mirror.
It sucks. It sucks because over the last handful of months, I started to kind of like Roman, and this might have ruined all that progress for me.
You know what? In ring, he's getting better. His promos go from getting better to getting worse.
But now he's back with the Shield, so his promos don't fucking matter. He's got.
Did you see when they came out there? They had him say like 3 words and then cut him off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember what he said. God, what did he say? Something like "You don't scare me" or something. He was talking to Braun Strowman, I think.
Yeah.
He's just something like "We're here" or something. And then all of a sudden, Seth Rollins grabbed it.
Believe that.
I was like, "That's perfect. That's perfect. That's smart. That's not even a bad thing.
Right.
That's working with each person's gifts and hiding their weaknesses." Paul Heyman. I
want to see them cut an old school Shield promo backstage in a dark room where they all like switch out in the triangle.
That would be good. That would be good. So no, I'm happy they're doing the Shield thing, and you know what? It's gonna get Roman cheered for as long as he's with the Shield, but as soon as they break up, I he's gonna go back. No, he's gonna be back to being booed, and people won't like him. And we know it's gonna be broke up well before WrestleMania. So it's got a shelf life, obviously.
The only way this could come out good for Roman in the long term is if he's the one who breaks up the Shield.
Turns heel. Yeah, if he's the one that turns heel. I would actually love to see them amicably leave. Like, I'd love for them to do this thing because they need to right now. And then when they have no reason to stay together anymore, just kind of go their own ways. They don't even need you don't even need a segment where they do it.
It leaves it open for them to come back and do it again sometime in the future when they're needed.
Yeah, just have Roman start doing some more main event matches. Have Dean getting a feud with this guy. Have Rollins getting a feud with this guy. They don't have to.
All they got to do is take a couple pages out of the book of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's really all it is. Or DC.
That is very true.
Because we all know Roman Reigns should have been the one to play Aquaman for the guy they picked. Jesus Christ. I thought it was Roman Reigns. I'm like, I didn't know Roman Reigns' real name was Jason Momoa.
Speaking of that, I don't know why that reminded me. I don't know why that reminded me. But that was another thing I noticed. When the Shield came down this Monday, I had completely forgot everybody used to have their hair a certain way. And they had the slicked back kind of hair. And Dean and Seth don't do that anymore, except for they did Monday now that they're reunited. But Roman's hair is basically the same as it used to be. So he's basically the same fucking Shield character he always was.
He never changed.
Just with a different decal.
I like how he was the member of the Shield who least wanted to get back together. And yet he held on to everything from the Shield for all this time.
Right?
He should have been the first one to be like, we got to get back together, guys.
He probably was backstage. Like, dude,
right, he's been begging them for months. He's been begging them. He convinced Vince to pull Dean Ambrose over to Raw so that they
Right.
could do this. Because I can't stand the booze.
Oh, he needs a little more of the booze. So, without further ado, we're actually on time. This might lag a little bit, but we'll try to keep it in constricts of time. We got 45 minutes here.
Even with, but it's just our picks. Like, even if it really came down to it, this could be over in 3 minutes.
It could be. It won't be, but it could be.
It won't be. You're gonna get 45 minutes of us picking our noses.
Actually, I don't know that I have a lot to say about anybody, so it might actually run short. I'm not sure. I hope not.
Why does the headline say Hell in a Cell review?
Because I copy and pasted. It's TLC. That's why, because I copy and pasted from last week's. So it's TLC predictions. I think I literally said it on air. I think I said that to everybody. Let's go to Hell in a Cell review. I swear I think I accidentally just said that to people. So thank you, Pacey, for keeping us up to date and being our editor-in-chief.
Right.
TLC predictions. I said like we do before. Let's go from the bottom up. Hit off the bullshit matches first, and then get into the main meat and potatoes, so to say. So the first thing, I don't even know. Maybe it's something that's on 205 Live and I haven't been following. Although I have been keeping up with NXT, folks, and it's been good to very good. It hasn't been great, but good to very good. So the first thing it has here is Drew Gulak to present a WWE Cruiserweight Championship edition of his PowerPoint presentation. Has Drew Gulak been coming out and giving PowerPoint presentations during 205 Live?
I haven't been watching, so I can't say for
well,
sure.
I'll tell you what.
I would have to assume so, because this makes no sense to me.
If he has been, I understand why they're losing viewers. Nobody turns into TV to watch a fucking PowerPoint presentation. I've had to make them and give them, and it's not exciting for me,
right,
the person doing it. It sure as hell isn't exciting for viewers. So I don't even know what we're supposed to say on that. I'm just going to say fail. I don't know what the fuck.
Right, yeah.
I don't know what to say about it. I took this straight off of WWE's website. So this is the official WWE matches, and that's listed on their official WWE matches is PowerPoint presentation. So I guess technically there's 3 205 Live segments.
Right. That's exciting.
Holy shit. They're really pushing this.
They're just trying to make Neville feel really bad for walking away. Like, look what we were about to do for you guys.
Right? We were going to have you do PowerPoint, Neville, but now you're gone and Drew Gulak gets to do PowerPoint. What fucking shit is that? We downloaded Microsoft fucking Office and everything. Just for you.
You're ungrateful, Neville.
I want to see Neville fucking do a PowerPoint presentation back to WWE.
We were going to make you wear your Mighty Mouse costume while you did it.
Right?
Oh,
here it comes to save the day. It got over Andy Kaufman. Come on, Neville. You know it would have worked for you. The Mighty Mouse thing got Andy Kaufman over.
You know, it probably would have worked for him, because I would have loved to see it.
I just think it's the ears, man. The ears. If he wasn't a hobbit, he's a mouse. You have to do something with the ears. Dumbo,
but he's got to wear a full mouse costume with ears, too.
I don't think he needs the ears. I think he needs, like, a pointy nose. And you could, like, color the ears black, but I don't think, or gray or whatever. I think he has the ears. He has them. He has ears like me. They're flipping and a flopping. So the kickoff show, God, it's sad state of affairs when Sasha Banks is the kickoff show. Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Poor Sasha. You know,
right.
we touched on this before the show, but man, with everybody who's unhappy and leaving and not working and everything, there's been reports of Sasha Banks not be... Actually, I listened to the podcast that she was on. Was it on? I think it was Sam Roberts. You mentioned Sam Roberts earlier, where she had said I don't know what they've been doing with me in the title. It's really frustrating. I don't know from one week to the next if I'm going to have the title or not. And this is after she had just won it. And she's like, I just hope that this time they do something with it and they don't drop it like they did before. And then she immediately lost the title again. So she's been expressing unhappiness within the company. And she's another one that could go anywhere and make big money.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the indies have less spots for females. But there are plenty of female organizations, and there are organizations that would definitely highlight a female like her if they were to get her. You know, take into account also that her cousin Snoop Dogg, I'm sure he can get her parts in fucking B movies and throw her in some music videos and shit. You know, just fucking put her in a, you know, you don't need talent to make a song. She could probably go in a booth and just make some fucking songs. If Snoop Dogg's on one of the verses, it's going to sell. So be careful with what you got, WWE.
The Cash Me Outside girl is like almost platinum.
She's raking in millions. Yeah, she's raking in millions. She's getting her own fucking reality show now and everything. Did you see the delegations, the race delegations for her?
No.
Do you remember you used to watch Chappelle's Show, right?
Yeah.
So there's a famous skit, a hilarious skit, where it was the race draft. And like there was a delegation for the white people would come out and they claimed I think the Asians ended up claiming Tiger Woods. No, the Asians claimed the Wu-Tang Clan. That's right. So I think the white people claimed Tiger Woods, and it was just like all the different races were trying to claim different people for themselves. And she posted something about, you know, hey, you guys always dog on me, but I just signed a contract for $1 million or multi-million dollars or whatever. How about that? And then like somebody responded on Twitter, as a delegation for the black community, we pass on her. She is not with us. And he's like, we want the white people to step up and take their property. And then a white person was like, for the delegation of the white people, we do not accept her. I think the Mexicans should take this one. And then fucking Jose went out there and he was like, as the Mexicans, we denounce her as a Mexican. The Asians need to take one for the team. And the Asians were like, some Asian dude, he's like, as a delegation for the Asians, I think the Middle Easterns have to pick this one up. And then there was a Muslim guy on there like Muhammad or something, and he's like, as a delegation for the Middle Eastern, I think the aliens need to take this one. And then some random alien Twitter or something was like, as a delegation for the aliens, we do not accept her. And he passed, I don't remember who he passed it on to, but it's like they were just all just fucking passing her down. Nobody wants to claim you, even if you are multi-millions. Sorry, we went way off topic there, but I was just laughing at each delegation fucking knocking them.
See, Sasha, you should just leave. You could be the next Cash Me Outside girl.
How about that?
How about that?
Oh, you and I are both
honestly,
going. I don't think there's
at this point in the game, I think with how saturated the rosters are and how the right people aren't getting pushes, I think any superstar that wants to leave should just be allowed to go. It'd be good for both parties. As much as I don't want to see the talent go,
fresh.
But yeah,
it allows fresh storylines. If you're
unhappy, you can go. You are a free agent. That's the way it should be.
Which, by the way, unhappy people and fresh fucking angles and shit. I'm so loving Sami Zayn in this heel role.
Yes.
Fuck. His promo was just the tits on Raw. I mean, it was the tits. It was like the tits.
I'm really excited for Shane to come back next week. See how he tries to punish them. It's going to be fun. I'm really hoping Shane pulls some strings and gets Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. How insane would that be? How insane would that be?
God, I missed I'm not even going to be able to Oh, here it is. I actually have it up. So there's a Twitter thing called WWE Creative Humor. It's not officially with WWE. It's just their own thing, and they talk about WWE stuff. And Sami Zayn, they were quoting Sami Zayn, who said, "I'm still an in-ring performer. Daniel Bryan, you're not anymore. Until September." And for those of you who don't know, next September, Daniel Bryan's contract runs up with WWE, and he would be able to either renew a contract or leave and wrestle somewhere. And Daniel Bryan actually responded to it, saying some things are best left unsaid, with a cool shades emoji guy. So, the fact that he could just be toying with all of us. He keeps dropping hints that he wants to leave, and I'm sure he wants to. I think the bottom line is going to be the money.
He doesn't want to leave. He wants to wrestle. That's what
he wants to wrestle. There you go. That's correct. You're correct. And
he
if
wants
WWE
to
won't
wrestle
let him
for
do
WWE, but if he can't, he'll wrestle wherever he can. I'd be the same fucking way.
So there you go. Alicia fucked Sasha Banks. I'm going with the boss. Although with the way things are going, they've been burying Sasha, and they seem to be trying to do something with Alicia. I haven't figured out what it is yet. But they've been trying to do something with her. I hate to say I wouldn't be surprised if she won. But if they're smart, and I think the smart money goes to Sasha Banks. She still has so much to do. You don't want to damage her, because even if you're not going to do anything with her, you can use her to elevate all your bigger stars anyways.
And after the Nia Jax thing, you'd think they'd be a little nervous and give the superstars who really deserve it what they want for once.
You would think so. Although now that you say that, and I didn't even think about this, because believe it or not, I don't really pay attention to races and shit. They got a pretty good mix of races in the women's roster right now. When you think about the three people we just talked about, Nia, Sasha, and Alicia Fox, are all African American. That's quite a change from the Attitude Era. All white blonde bitches except for the one muscular black Southern gal.
And Asuka's about to come up.
And we got I was gonna say we got Asuka. And we got you can Emma. She's Australian. I guess you can call that white, but that's different. Good for them. Good for them. I think the whole roster is getting better. They're not giving any championships to these folks, but the roster itself is getting better.
I'm to the point where I don't want Bliss to hold the championship anymore. It's time to change it.
I love her. I don't care what she does. Keep it, trade it. She's great at chasing. She doesn't need it at this point in her career. Right. She's at that point where the John Cena point, or the point where she doesn't need it.
Yeah.
It's good for her.
Right now, I feel like we're at the point where we were a year ago with Charlotte Flair. Like, okay, that's enough. Yeah. Let somebody else play with it.
She's a made woman, and as long as they don't completely fucking drop her when she drops it, she's still going to be a main eventer with her without the title, even without being in the title chase. All right. I guess we left it at that.
Yeah, and I'm saying Banks.
Banks. Good. So we both got Sasha Banks on that. We got a match I didn't know was happening until I copy and pasted it from WWE.com. Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann versus Gentleman Jack Gallagher, the villain, versus the Brian Kendrick. I call him the villain because he has Marty Scurll's umbrella. Interesting team here. I don't know where this came from. And after I just praised WWE for them having a good mix, I feel like Alexander and Swan were put together because they were the two black guys.
Right.
Was there a reason they were put together? I don't know. I'm not watching 205 Live, but WWE tends to do that a lot. Fucking the NXT. What is it? The new fucking JTG and Chad Gasper. We got two black guys, so we're gonna make them thugs. Who is it? It's a nobody. It's somebody who's been delegated off of the main roster down to NXT, and then somebody else. And it's just the same horrible gimmick. We're street thug, where we do thug stuff. Anyways, don't like that. So one thing I want to say here, Cedric Alexander, I feel is super overrated. Everybody loves him. When there was the Cruiserweight Classic, after his match, people were chanting, "Please sign him. Please sign him," or something. They were chanting to sign him and everything. And Triple H came out and shook his hand and everything. His time in Ring of Honor, he was in CNC Express. It was Cedric Alexander and Caprice Coleman. I didn't care for that tag team. I didn't care for him solo. I think he's just overrated. opposite side of that coin, I think Rich Swann is one of the most talented people on the 205 Live roster. I think he's got the fucking charisma. He's got the mic skills. He's got that handsome look, and he's super talented. So I'm kind of stuck there. You got Gentleman Jack Gallagher and the Brian Kendrick. I like Gentleman Jack Gallagher's image, his gimmick, even though he stole the umbrella from Marty Scurll.
Bad guy.
And I didn't know that, but he works well as a heel. He's that pompous English guy, just like just like
it's so they can justify they're taking the umbrella away from Marty Scurll.
Could be. I can't even think of the commissioner of NXT's name right now, but just like him, he does a really good pompous English gentleman. Who the hell is the commissioner of NXT? William Regal. Thank you. Yeah.
He's a man. A man's man.
Why do you always like everybody's worst gimmicks?
It's great. It's great.
It was great. I will give you that. It's probably his worst gimmick, but it was catchy. Let's take this very British guy and turn him into an all-American
lumberjack. He's an all-Canadian lumberjack.
He's American. What he is, he's American. I'm going to go with Brian Kendrick and Gentleman Jack Gallagher. I like the heels winning. I like both of them. I'm not a big Cedric Alexander fan, and you picked Alexander and Swan, I guess. So.
I like Rich Swann. I love Rich Swann. I always want him to win. I want him to come up to the main roster and, like, push Xavier out of New Day or something like that, because that'd be amazing. And I know Swann and Xavier would have a hell of a rivalry.
Fuck yeah! So you're a Swan guy also, huh?
Yes, indeed.
I love him. I'm just not sold on Cedric Alexander. He hasn't proved it to me. Maybe he's making moves down in 205 Live now, but the Cruiserweight Classic, and when I was watching 205 Live, he didn't win me over. Not saying he pushed me away anymore, but he didn't win me over.
The thing I'm not liking is this is TLC, and I'm only seeing one stipulation match.
Not only that, what is there only there's only 2 championship matches.
Yeah.
And the way that WWE has been booking those 2, you'd say 2 of the lesser ones. I don't want to say they're lesser, but it would seem that way. Next, we have Asuka versus Emma. Emma won the chance to face Asuka versus a who's who of women. Nia Jax and Bayley and Sasha Banks, yeah. And Alicia Fox, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she beat some really, and she didn't beat, don't get me wrong. Everybody else eliminated everybody else, and she came in for the kill. I don't remember how she did it, but surprised the shit out of me. I did not see her being the one to do it. I think she eliminated Sasha last, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She used the tights, or she put her feet on the rope or something.
Bayley
she did it,
first out.
Yeah.
Which was terrible.
So, yeah, I was surprised about that.
I'm done with Bayley at this point, though.
She's another one that she'd be just fine leaving.
Yeah.
She was doing just fine on the independents beforehand. She'll do just fine now. I think it's obvious, but I'll say it. I'm going Asuka.
Yeah. Or it ends in a DQ because, Bliss has got a match later. But I'm saying it could end in a DQ because of some outside interference.
Do I want to... Let's see. You and I got a lot of the same so far, right?
Yeah.
Actually, no, just 2 of the same out of 3. Guess it's not.
Well,
I won't. I'm going to say, though, I think it's going to be a squash match. I was going to say Asuka in less than a minute because they've got to fit the 5-on-3 handicap match, and they've already got actually quite a few people on here. Believe, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 main roster matches.
If it's going to be a squash match, this match should come just before the main event, and the women's championship should be earlier in the night. That's my opinion.
We got 6. That's not much. I would agree. I would agree if this is a squash, and that's good because it builds up Asuka coming up. The only thing is, I do agree with you, and I'd hate to see Asuka delegated to the potty break spot. So I'm gonna say I'd rather have the 205 tag team in that spot. Plus, you don't want too quick of a match in the potty break spot because you want people to be able to have their potty break, and you want, you know, the competitors to get ready, the main event competitors to get ready. But well, then you can't say or win by DQ for bonus points. If you're gonna go with the bonus points, you have to say Asuka by DQ. Or you're gonna say she loses? No, win by DQ?
Oh yeah, they're not gonna come out and beat up Emma. They're gonna come out and beat up Asuka.
Or Emma could do something nefarious to hit Asuka with something, but. All right, well then if you're gonna do that, so you get points if Asuka wins, even if it's not by DQ. You just want bonus points if she wins by DQ?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna go in less than 2 minutes. I'll get 2 minutes for bonus points. There we go. So we both got a little extra. Both got an extra point on there. That's okay. Because I think it's going to be a squash. I just don't know what counts as a squash nowadays. I would say 1 or 2 minutes tops. But she could be getting her ass beat for a long time and do it. I just don't waste Asuka. WWE, please, just don't fucking waste Asuka. And if you're smart, you keep her undefeated streak going from NXT. And if you're smart, do it for a year. Have her lose it like on the like TLC next year. Like have it be a big thing. Well, they've already got the streak with Nia, Asuka. Yeah, she's the only one I know of with a streak.
Yeah.
So keep the streak going. God, do it. At least for a few months. Give us that. So we all know. Okay, next up is WWE Cruiserweight title. Kalisto versus Enzo Amore. Now, we all know Kalisto is one of the best promo guys in the world. Remember a while back when he was like, I'm going to go out there and do my lucha thing, or do good lucha thing. Ah, fuck! Oh, no, what's he say? Oh, shit. Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. He totally fucked up
And then
the promo.
runs away.
So anyways, they just dipped off in the middle of it. So they let him speak on Monday night. I don't know if you caught this, Pasty. They let him speak on Monday night. I don't know why they let him speak on Monday night, but they did. And he didn't embarrass himself that bad. But at the end, he was like, and Sunday night, I am walking out the new Cruiserweight champion. It's like, well, dude, you have it now. I mean, yeah,
well,
you're
still the new
new-ish.
Cruiserweight champion.
You're new-ish, but I mean, come on. You're the retaining Cruiserweight champion. I just thought that was comical. I gotta shit on Kalisto. Amazing talent in the ring. I love him. The Salida del Sol is one of the most beautiful moves, and we've seen him do it in some really crazy, risky ways. He's what they wanted with Sin Cara. He is the modern day Rey Mysterio, and then some.
I liked how they brought Sin Cara back on the main roster after they brought Kalisto in. They're like, oh, we forgot about you, homie. Sorry.
Yeah, that dude's just been sitting around on his couch a year. But no, I thought that was cute. I'm going to go Enzo Amore. He wasn't supposed to lose it to begin with. They freaked out. They did something with it. And I think him being the heel champ just works really well. And I don't mind Kalisto chasing, but I think Enzo works as a cocky heel champ better than he would a cocky heel chaser.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Enzo Amore, the realest guy in the room.
I would like Enzo to win. I just think that they're going to allow Kalisto to keep it.
So you got Kalisto?
Yeah.
So we're mixing it up a little bit here. We're mixing it up. We're mixing it up. We're mixing it up. So next on our list, we have the Demon Bray Wyatt versus Sister Abigail. The Demon Finn Balor versus Sister Abigail Bray Wyatt. Did I mix their names up for a second?
I think so.
That's
the Great
right.
Pumpkin King versus the Great Cross-Dressing Biker.
Yeah, they're pretty interchangeable at this point to begin with. When he was cutting that promo, I even think I said out loud, I was talking to my dogs because nobody else fucking loves me. I was talking to my dogs and I said, you know what? They should really give him some new demon paint with this new Sister Abigail gimmick that Bray's doing. And that way it's not the same demon who's already faced him.
Right.
And then they cut to this fucking Pumpkin King shit. And it's like, you know what? It might end up being cool. But
they
folks,
only did it for Halloween.
If you've seen the thumbnail for our show, that's what his paint job looks like. It looks very, to me, it looked like gold dust, but you replaced the gold with orange.
Mm-hmm.
He's got...
Orange fragments is what they call him.
For anybody who watched Prince Fergal Devitt before he joined the WWE,
and
yes,
the amazing
folks,
paint transformations he went through.
Yeah, and Balor's real name is Fergal. He's had some of the best body paint ever. And I know at that time it was all copyrighted stuff. He did a lot of comic book stuff. He did a lot of Marvel and DC stuff.
Yes.
But he doesn't have to do that, but he could still
you
switch
could tell
it up a
from
the
demon. The demon itself is a direct take from
Carnage.
Spider-Man's Venom.
Carnage.
It's usually black. It's not really red. He's done Carnage.
Carnage is red.
Yeah, I'm saying. And Balor's paint isn't red all the time.
It's always red.
No, it's black.
The inside of the mouth is black. Well, anyways, Venom or Carnage, they're very similar caricatures. Which, by the way,
that movie's gonna be the shit.
No, fuck that. Fuck that. It's gonna be nothing compared to this. Marvel Comics just announced they are doing a Venom X storyline. So basically, what it is in the current Venom storyline, Venom has found these aliens that I forget what they're called here because I don't read comics and I'd love to. But they found a way to work with the Venom alien symbiote creatures, the Venom creatures, basically. And so they've started taking over, and they're so fucking powerful that Venom had to go to alternate realities and recruit Venoms from all these other alternate realities just to try to fight these people, these creatures, these things. Well, anyways, he's having a hard time beating them, all the Venoms, and a lot of Venoms died in this plight. Venoms are dropping left and fucking right. And so now, apparently, they're going to start a knockoff of that storyline. And they're going to have him bring in other alternate reality X-Men characters.
Nice.
It's called Poison X. That's what it's called. It's called Poison X. And they're all going to have Venom symbiotes. So, Poison X is a 6-part crossover that'll have Venom team with a time-displaced 5 X-Men, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Iceman, Beast, and Angel, and the son of Wolverine from the Ultimate Universe, Jimmy Hudson, to battle Poisons. That's what the things are called, Poisons. It looks and sounds like it's going to be fucking awesome. And I don't read comics anymore. But I might have to, if they put this out in a graphic novel soon, I might have to get this one because I'm excited for this.
Have you even heard of the Venom and Carnage movie?
Yeah.
Whoa.
There was even
Why'd you poop on it? It's gonna be a rated R horror film style movie, and it's gonna have references to Spider-Man and shit in it. It's gonna tie into the series or whatever.
Yeah, it's gonna be it is gonna be super awesome. I'd literally just heard about this today, and I came a little in my pants when I was
Did you
reading
ever-
about it, so that's why I
Did
just
you
got
ever
excited.
check out the Marvel Zombies?
I have read up on it. I did not read
I read a good
the whole
chunk of
event.
it.
Like I
didn't
didn't read the actual
whole
event.
graphic novel, but I've checked out a good chunk of it. That's some pretty good shit too.
It looked pretty intensive, and the stuff I read about it was good. God, that's how boring fucking Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt have gotten us.
That's
So we're
so
talking
bad.
about fucking Marvel movies and Marvel comics instead of talking about this match that
Stop
allegedly
coming
on
out
paper
and acknowledging your Balor Club. Stop it.
It's my Balor Club. My Balor Club. Yeah, if these motherfuckers can't Too Sweet, you can't Balor Club. Yeah, Taco, I didn't even put that on my list of reasons. They blatantly ripped off the Bullet Club for the Balor Club. And you
They
got
should sue.
AJ fucking doing Too Sweets and shit.
That'd be so great if Bullet Club decided to sue for that.
It's liable, fucking damn it, it's liable.
I'm sure Finn would side with the Bullet Club. He'd be like, yeah, this was theirs and we took it for our own use.
If he's smart, he's siding with whoever pays his fucking check.
Well, if you want to change, you're gonna have to stand up against the power at some point.
I think he personally would feel that way. Yes, I think they all would. Add fucking Doc and fucking Carl Anderson.
Yeah.
To the list of people that could be walking out at any fucking
AJ
time.
Styles,
They made good money.
Well, he wouldn't
Japan.
walk out, but he could be right there with them too.
Who, AJ?
Yeah. In the argument, because he was using the club. You know what I mean?
He could, but he's not going anywhere because he's in a good position. He shouldn't. But fucking you got Doc and Machine Gun sitting there, fucking Elias Sampson singing a goddamn song on this fucking Monday Night Raw or fucking SmackDown or whatever on SmackDown it is. They're sitting out there with Elias Sampson fucking singing a song on SmackDown. The look on their two faces were just like, what the fuck has happened? And, you know, I listen to interviews of theirs, and anytime they're on a podcast, I watch it, man. Talking Shop. Definitely. Talking Shop. I fucking love it. And they always sound like they're having fun. I know they loved doing why can't I think of the promotion? The YouTube promotion. You know what I'm talking about, Paige? The YouTube promotion. Yeah, Southpaw. I know they love doing Southpaw regional wrestling. And I know they have a lot of fun with the guys in the back and everything, but they have to be feeling stifled as artists, as wrestlers.
Yeah,
they're not doing
they are
shit.
A lot better than they're being allowed to be. I mean, as character
so I could see
actors.
them leaving. And they can make good money outside. I mean, they were making good money in New Japan.
But anyways, who are you picking to win this match?
I'm gonna say the Pumpkin King. You know what? Either one, at this point, neither one can afford to lose. That's the saddest part right now. They're both just getting buried and buried and buried.
Right.
I don't think either one can afford to lose.
What if it ends in a no contest? Like they warp each other to some other dimension and disappear.
So fucking broken Matt Hardy shit, man. I'd love it.
Maybe a table gets pulled out. You know what I mean? It is TLC, and I feel like stipulations are just going to be added last minute to some of these matches. Because usually they have a tables match, a ladders match, and a chairs match, and then a TLC match.
Right.
And whatever happened to tables, ladders, chairs, and stairs, WWE?
No. This last minute booking shit is killing them, I think is what it is.
It is.
Is there anything, I mean, if you look at it, other than maybe Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt, is there anything on there
that I need to see? No, not really.
Well, that too, but that requires a stipulation. You know, you hate to just throw stipulations in because you're obligated.
Right.
So let's say, you know, like last week, we talked about how both the Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon match and the New Day Usos match, they really built it up to where you're like, okay, I can believe that they want to settle this in Hell in a Cell. Right. Both of those.
I gotta say, here's how I would do this though.
Even
The
the Shield match
Cruiserweight
doesn't
Championship would be your ladder match. The women's match would be a table match because Mickey James and tables and old school feelings. And then I wouldn't call Bray and Balor a chairs match, but I would say definitely make it a hardcore match.
And you could call it a stairs match. In a chairs match, you can use tables and ladders anyway. For that matter, in a tables match, you can use chairs and ladders.
Right.
In a street fight, you can use tables and ladders and chairs.
But I'm saying
it's
that's
a
all
gimmick.
I'm saying. There is a way to paint this pay-per-view with stipulations and make it look right.
I hear you. Alexa Bliss, Mickey James, those two could put on a good tables match if they can put the other one through a table.
I would have had them in the ladder match originally, and then I looked at the cruiserweight match, and I'm like, Enzo could win it that way.
Yeah, and you know what? You don't need a bunch of high spots for a ladder match. And Kalisto could do some of the more higher spots,
right.
And Enzo could take like one big bump. Yeah, Enzo doesn't have to be flipping off ladders to have a good ladder match. He can be the one who uses it on the ground as a weapon. He can be the one throwing it at Kalisto. He can be the one ramming him with it. He can be the one setting it up in the corner and throwing Kalisto
the tricky shit,
you know,
the tricky heel shit. Like,
and Kalisto can do the
Salida
del Sol onto it. Yeah, exactly. So they could definitely do a ladder match. I don't understand why there's only one TLC match, and then and that's fine with one TLC match, but then you have other, like you said, gimmicky
and then
match.
You have a PowerPoint. That's the sandwich of the show.
Well, you have to have a PowerPoint presentation. You have to have that. That's a TLC staple. That's a TLC staple from back in the original NWA Starrcade.
TLC and P.
They had their TLC.
Tables, ladders, chairs, and PowerPoints.
I'm going with the Pumpkin King, Finn Balor.
I got to go with my girl, Bray.
I'm just really curious to see what they do with her. We haven't seen her outside of vignettes.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like he should have been on Raw on Monday in character, and Finn should have been on the screen doing the thing with the changing face. That's what it should have been.
Couldn't be on Raw because of meningitis.
Yeah, but I swear to God, he was announced for Raw last week.
Sister
Abigail will be here next week.
Dude, how long did they fucking announce Pulp Fiction, fucking Pulp Fashion? And we waited 3 weeks for it, and then they still didn't reveal who the people were.
Well, no, because the Ascension got it. It's got to be the Bludgeon Brothers, 2B, the case of 2B. I liked that segment so much.
I loved it. I love everything the Fashion Files does. So two things.
I don't know that the Ascension in this zany, demented state too. It's actually working for them. Like they can't. They're not monster heels. They could be. They'd be better monster heels with this gimmick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I said. It's something for them. At least they're on TV. I like that. So the Bludgeon Brothers. I don't know that I like the name, but I love the word bludgeon. So I might come to love the name Bludgeon Brothers.
Right.
Because I do love that word.
It kind of threw me for a loop when he was wearing the sheep mask again. I'm like, oh, so they're the Wyatt family Bludgeon Brothers.
Was I the only one who thought he was going to smash it with his mallet?
Right. But they just said it there, and then it zoomed in on the mask. Yeah. So are they still claiming the Wyatt flag?
I don't know, but then he put the hammer back like that, and I thought he was going to smash that. And I thought Harper was going to, and he didn't. And then Rowan started to do it, and I was like, he's going to smash the mask. And then he didn't. And I was like, well, I don't get with the mask. Although, I'm glad they're keeping it, because it's the only thing that Rowan has. Rowan has no charisma. He has no character. He has very little skill.
You know, I've seen a lot of people, and I definitely agree. Give him a more Devil's Rejects kind of angle. You know, you could even put Harper in clown paint. Or no, Rowan in clown paint with his beard and have him be like a Captain Spaulding type character.
Good, right? So I think, and this is me thinking here, I think they had no idea what to do with Rowan and Harper. And I swear to God, some dude was at home with his kids playing Mario Brothers, and they came up to the fucking Hammer Brothers, and he's like, dude, that could be Eric Rowan and Luke Harper right there.
I don't think that's it at
Hammer
all.
Brothers.
It's near Halloween, and somebody was in a Halloween shop and saw the plastic ass mallet, and they're like,
Right?
"This is what Harper and Rowan will do."
I do like that they have different mallets. They're two different and unique mallets. I like that. So you really think they're the ones that were attacking the fashion files? You think that's what they're going with?
I think it would make sense.
I thought it was a little
could be
ambiguous,
interesting
but
story.
it works. Like you said, the 2B would work for Bludgeon Brothers. But I don't know. I just hope they keep having fashion files. If we never find out who it is, and that's the only way we get to keep having it, do it.
Right.
But I think they should be able to find out who it is and still have the skits, because I love it to death.
Oh yeah. I'd rather watch their skits than them wrestle. They don't need to wrestle.
I wouldn't mind both, but okay. So next up we have the Raw Women's Championship match: Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James. Besides the fact that they don't really seem to care or respect Mickie because she goes from being Piggy James to being Old Lady James.
Right.
I feel she's doing what she should do. She shouldn't go there and get made fun of, but she came back and she's putting over younger talent, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
She's a viable contender. It's believable that she could beat Alexa Bliss at any time.
But Bliss hasn't lost to anybody else, so why would she lose now?
And I agree. I think Mickie. I don't think it hurts Mickie to lose, and I think it makes sense for Alexa to win this one. So I'm gonna go with Alexa Bliss winning it. I'm cool with that. I think she should win. That's my girl. I love her. And
I want her
Mickie
to
James
lose,
is my
but
girl.
she ain't gonna
Mickie
lose
James.
here.
Oh, by the way, did you hear that she got inducted into the Native American Music Hall of Fame, or got a Native American Music Award? That was really awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, she's got Native blood in her, and she is a very good country singer. I actually have one of her albums. I don't like a lot of country, but I liked a lot of her songs on there. Her song Hardcore Country is an awesome song. I can jam out to that song.
Yeah, I remember when
Hardcore Country.
she premiered that on TNA.
Hardcore Country. What do you got to take home the Women's Championship belt?
I'm saying Bliss as well. Like I said, she hasn't lost anybody else. Why would she lose to Mickie James? It doesn't make sense unless Mickie James was going to pass it on right away. But I don't see that either. It's going to be Bliss until she loses it.
You know what? Until I was just typing this right now, I'm still not done with you, motherfucking Roman. I'm still not done with you. Until I was writing the Hounds of Justice right now, I completely forgot that was one of my points about fucking Roman Reigns not moving away from the Shield. He just went from the Hounds of Justice to the Big Dog. He's still a fucking canine. He's just no longer in a group. He's just on his own now. The Hounds of Justice, the Big Dog, the motherfucker. God damn it, you're just a single Shield.
He would have been a lone wolf, but they brought up.
But Baron Corbin got that one.
Corbin got that.
But you know, that's how. To be honest, the lone wolf and the Big Dog, they were like, dude, we're canine brethren. And they're like, yeah, we are canine brethren. We're above this wrestling thing. And they're like, yeah, we are above this wrestling thing. We should probably get into the fish sticks business. Yeah, we should get into the fish sticks business. Carmen's Fisherman. Oh, man, I love this Carmen's Fisherman shit. I need to book this on Raw.
We need to get them to sponsor the show.
Good old fucking Carmen's Fisherman.
We gotta eat.
God, I love
every
it.
Episode.
This story writes itself. I'm not even trying. It just writes itself. All right, so now we're done with the fish sticks and on to the fucking meat and potatoes. TLC, 5-on-3 handicap match. The team of 5 is going to be The Miz, The Bar, which those two are Cesaro and Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and the second demon on the show, Kane.
Yeah. Versus the Shield.
Versus the newly reformed Shield. Wasn't it amazing how 2 weeks ago, like they finally reformed for the first time, and then they went backstage, and then when they came out at the end, they already had fucking shirts.
Right.
They already had Shield shirts. Like, holy shit, that seamstress, man, I don't know. Maybe they won't get rid of that seamstress who was bitching at Matt Hardy, because that bitch can sew. She whipped that shit up quick as hell. Give her some props. No, I don't. So this is where they fucked up and they painted themselves in a corner. There should be no reason that Braun Strowman, The Miz, Kane, and Cesaro and Sheamus lose. You got arguably 5 main event names there and 5 strong people against the 3 Shield.
Right.
And this is not a fucking tag match either. So that means all 5 are in the ring at the same time as all 3. My guess is right away, somehow the Shield takes Kane out, or takes one of the 5 out, whether it's Cesaro, Sheamus, Kane. I would say it's one of them. Maybe it's
and I'm
going to
say this right here. I'm going to cut in, but I'm going to say this right here. They better not fuck this up and make this be one of those matches where you have to tag in and out.
I don't know how you can with the TLC.
They would do it. They would do it.
I could see them doing it. I could. I agree with you. But I don't know how it would work. So my guess is the only way you can do it is you take one person out. They have to get sent to the back. And then it's 4-on-3. And, of course, Roman can, handle 3 of those 4.
Right.
I guess. I don't know. So I don't know how they make it work. But I think all... Okay, not all logic. All WWE logic says the Shield just reformed. Roman's the big dog. The Shield has to win this.
They have to.
On paper, I don't see how they lose on paper, but in reality, even in wrestling, even on paper, I mean, you just look at that team. You could argue that Braun Strowman, Kane, and The Miz would be able to take on the Shield. At least take them on. Maybe lose, but take them on, fight them bitterly. You could argue Miz, Cesaro, and Sheamus could. You could argue any of those 3.
No, I would like to see Miz, Cesaro, and Sheamus versus the Shield. That would be a great match on its own. So
I don't know. I mean, I honestly think the Shield wins. What are you going?
Yeah, the Shield.
I'm pretty sure I know. But...
Yeah. They got to.
I think they win. It just, how are they going to get there without making
you can't
it look
roll the
ridiculous
dice and not come out the Shield winning this, and that's terrible. It is.
Maybe
terrible.
They have, and and we haven't.
Nobody should beat these 5 men standing together. Nobody, unless unless the Miz and Kane turn on Strowman and Kane turn on each other.
That could happen. They could take each other out. But I like Kane being in there because that was like their first big one of their first big feuds was with Kane, right? The Shield?
Yeah.
Didn't they attack Kane right off the bat?
Yeah. He's mostly there because Roman beat his brother.
As I'm trying to think,
he's probably not going to win the race, as much as I hate to say it.
I'm trying to think of no, he probably won't. But
he's
hey,
I gotta get back in ring shape, guys. Put me in a 5-man.
When I was just saying, I don't know how they're going to get away with the Shield winning. Another question came up in my head. They haven't mentioned how you win this. Normally in a TLC match, you grab a title or a briefcase off a ladder. So is this going to be pinfalls and submissions?
Probably.
Or are they going to have a random object hung up there? Are they going to have a Shield vest or something? Or are they going to have Cesaro's teeth? Or are they going to have a pregnant Maurice hanging up there?
Yes, Mrs. Unborn Child.
There you go, Mrs. Fetus hanging up there. Now that I just thought of that, I think the only way you can do it is pinfall or submission, I guess. But it isn't normally. I mean, I guess I get my minds mixed up. I know back in the day, TLC was always you'd grab something off of the ladder. Was how you won. It was a ladder match. You were just encouraged to use tables and chairs, even though those were always legal in a ladder match. Right. So it really made no difference. But again, it's a good gimmick. I don't fault them for selling a gimmick. I don't fault them for that. But yeah, I guess.
I mean, any of it really is a hardcore match. Any of it.
Yeah, that's true. For all we know, they haven't decided how you win yet, and they'll figure it out 15 minutes beforehand. And let's hope like hell somebody tells the announcers so that we know.
First man to climb out of the cage, or first team to just throw a cage in there. Tables, ladders, and cages.
Yep, TLC tables, ladders, and cages.
And all the
Why
tables and
not?
ladders are on the outside of the cage, so everybody's really confused as to how they're supposed to utilize them without ending the match.
You got to escape the cage, but you can't touch the ground. Work for it, motherfuckers.
So you just got people diving through tables that are preset.
They could do it like oh man, has it been that long since I watched TNA that I forget what it was called? Full Metal, no, it wasn't Full Metal Mayhem. Full Metal Mayhem was their version of TLC, which also made sense other than that the tables are made of wood, but makes just as much sense as TLC. They, oh man, what the, I can't think of what they called it, but what it was a cage match, and they did it almost War Game style or almost Royal Rumble style, where there'd be two people in there, and then one from a different team would come in varied intervals, 30 seconds for the next guy, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, that kind of stuff. But then when you couldn't win until everybody was in there. And when everybody was in there, they dropped a lid on the cage. So it was like Hell in a Cell, but they also had weapons hanging from the top of the cage, and you were encouraged to use the weapons. For the life of me, I can't think of what that's called now, but that was always a fun match. They're not going to do that.
They should do that.
It was fun.
But they won't. They'll do that in like 5 years.
Cage match. Yeah,
and
it's just a hardcore
It'll
cage
be a house show.
It will be. So that's our predictions, folks. Dare I say, I honestly thought Hell in a Cell was better than probably 90% of the people I've read and heard from thought. From everything I've read and heard from, people only like the 2 cell matches and nothing else. And I liked a lot of the other matches, whether they were amazing or not. I thought the women's match was really good and other ones then.
Right.
This is looking very underwhelming. So maybe and Hell in a Cell looked underwhelming to me also, and I was pleased with it. So maybe they'll pull something out. I could see the cruiserweight tag match stealing the show. All 4 of them people are extremely talented. Even though I'm not a big Cedric Alexander fan, I think if you put him in the ring with those other 3 guys, he better fucking do something. But man, I'm super underwhelmed for this. Even other than just being curious of what they're gonna do with Bray Wyatt.
I hope everybody with the in the main event go into this with the mentality like we got to do better than they did on Hell in a Cell. That's what I'm hoping for. They're not going to because it's 2 different realities, but
yeah,
it's just I don't know. They should have had Hell in the Cell this Sunday, and they should have had TLC earlier in the month.
Other than having a lot of big spots, that could be maybe the worst match on the card.
Right.
I mean, it could be great. They're all talented. Let's say this: what is there? 8 people in there? All 8 people are extremely talented. So hopefully not. I'm underwhelmed. I'm sorry, folks. I don't mean to end this on a downer. but let's hope that it supersedes our expectations.
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. You'll never be disappointed.
Exactly.
And with that, folks, I've been Pasty White.
And as always, I've been the fattest Mac in the land.
We love you. And we will see you.
I love you like a lovesick puppy.
Next Thursday.
Snap into it!